Late last month, Governor Mark Dayton signed a piece of legislation that will make it tougher, hopefully, for aquatic invasive species to be transferred from lake to lake here in the great state of Minnesota, and that includes right here in the lakes area. You can check out the new regulations on the DNR's website, www.mndnr.com. But basically, it allows inspectors to now go on your boat, inspect them for aquatic invasive species, and to make sure that you do not have any kind of water in your boat, such as your live well or bait bucket, that you're transferring from one lake to another. And some other regulations like that gives them some more teeth for enforcement. But what I find ironic is a week after that piece of legislation was signed into law, there was a fishing tournament held on Pelican Lake. Pelican Lake, as you know, is infested with zebra mussels, discovered there a couple years ago, which is what really sparked a lot of people here in the lakes area to crank it up a notch when it comes to enforcement on aquatic invasive species. 100 boats showed up for that tournament, yet the Department of Natural Resources had no plans for a decontamination unit to clean those boats as they left that lake for other lakes throughout northwest Minnesota. A group of citizens from the Becker County Coalition of Lake Associations drove to the Twin Cities to pick up a decontamination unit, then drove it back to Detroit Lakes. The DNR would still not allow them to use that decontamination unit out of public access to help out with decontaminating these boats as they come off Pelican Lake. Eventually, the organizers of that fishing tournament on Pelican Lake, who have been supportive the whole time of a decontamination unit and the stop of the spread of aquatic invasive species, came to Detroit Lakes, picked up that decontamination unit, and set it up over near the Wildflower Golf Course, where they decontaminated as many boats as people brought there to decontaminate from that tournament. Can't say if all 100 boats were decontaminated, but a number of them were. Most of the anglers described the experience as relatively painless, took about 10 minutes, and they were out on their way. These decontamination units appear to be the best chance we have of stopping aquatic invasive species from spreading in our lakes. But I'm perplexed by the DNR's inability to grant these at these lakes where we know the waters are infested with zebra mussels or other aquatic invasive species. In fact, coming up in another week, there's going to be a fishing tournament in the Brainerd Lakes area. It'll start day 1 on Gull Lake, a lake that we know is infected with zebra mussels. Day 2 was on the Whitefish Lake in the Whitefish chain, which is, as we know of right now, not infected with zebra mussels. Now, why would you fish the dirty lake on day 1 and the clean lake on day 2? The DNR has been asked if they would be willing to flip these 2 days. They have not said they are willing to flip them. See, things like this, I think, is what the DNR and the local communities need to work together on. Common sense says you fish the clean lake first, the dirty lake second, you have a decontamination unit there. I don't know if it's a money issue, I don't know if it's a man-hour issue with the DNR, but it's frustrating as a citizen when the Department of Natural Resources, the State Department, taxed with keeping our natural resources safe and plentiful, seems to have the least amount of interest in the area and actually doing their duties. And that's why these private citizens themselves took it upon themselves to go to Minneapolis and get that decontamination unit. And the tournament organizers on Pelican Lake eventually went and grabbed and used it. I think in the years to come, in the months to come, in the weeks to come, the DNR and the local watersheds need to work as close as they possibly can, get as many as the decontamination units out to the 20 lakes that we know are infested with zebra mussels anytime there's a large tournament, and maybe in the fall when boats and docks are coming off the lake to make sure they're clean. Once those zebra mussels are into a lake, once a lake's infected, it's over with for the lake. We all need to do our part.